When I make these kind of videos, I don't get many views, but I do want to get my point across and how you just can't trust some people. The Chinese Communist Party seem to love to get these Westerners who live in China and possibly pay them a bucket load of money, do the propaganda for themselves so they don't have to do it. And they have a belief that if it comes from a foreigner, then it's going to be true. This is one guy in particular.
Because they are no longer the top dog in the Olympics, the US now wants to expand its kinetic and trade wars into the sporting arena.
Here he is having a go at America. This time he's talking about the Olympics, about the drug testing, etc., 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 all that kind of malarkey. And a lot of other people on YouTube have debunked this already. But here he goes again about how China has eradicated absolute poverty. Have a listen.
Increasing wealth, the complete eradication of absolute poverty.
And because he's quite an elderly gentleman, his background, he was a policeman in England for 10 years, then he was the CEO or a security guard in Australia for 17 years. Then somehow he came to China and was an academic. He was an IELTS examiner, for example, saying there's no poverty in China, when it's so easy to debunk. So, there is no poverty in China. Look at this.
拖一半天案来要饭，1、2、3、4个小案，你早年们这少生点案去，列小点案不搞消息带出来要饭，以后不是害了他。
All these videos I'm showing you today come from June and July 2024. This guy I'm going to show you in a moment or two is in the water during the floods, and he's not collecting plastic bottles because there is no poverty. He's not doing it because he doesn't need the money. He just fancied a swim and he's just cleaning up the environment. There is no poverty in China at all. China is well managed, well governed, and a healthy environment. Yes. Child labor doesn't happen at all in China because it's well governed, well managed, it's a healthy environment. What I would like you to do with this video is to share this with your friends. Share and tell your friends to share it with their friends as well. And get the word out. You do see so often, and again I repeat on this channel, that you see all the flashing lights from these mega modern cities like Shenzhen, like Shanghai or Chongqing. But at the end of the day, this is just some lights flashed onto some high-rise buildings, the same as anywhere else in the world. This country here, if you go to the capital, yeah, it's been well developed. And if you go there, it's quite exciting with the flashing lights, etc., and the neons. And it's got a long way to go. China has got a long way to go, but they get these Western shills, as they call it. They may live in China, they may live in America, and are they doing it from the goodness of their heart? Are they really doing it about they truly believe it? It's sort of like, well, with this gentleman, you sort of say, well, he looks trustworthy. He looks like an uncle. He looks like someone's grandfather, etc. Where when he says these things, that China government is the best in the world and it's alleviated absolute poverty, well, it's just a porky pie. And that's what frustrates me. This is the thing. If you look at England now, we can see all the situations with the riots and the situation. I really don't know 100% what's going on there, but at least what the media is doing and what people on social media are doing are basically showing live footage of what's happening. This wouldn't happen in China with media. They would sort of like do some broadcast and maybe put a mild point of view on it, but it wouldn't be so serious on what the situation is really like. Just wouldn't happen in China. Look, in 2022 with COVID, they had some people protesting. You wouldn't see it on Chinese main media, but you would see it on Twitter and some of the Weibo, which is the Chinese version of Twitter. And then that gets it out a little bit to the world. So it's very frustrating when you do get these Muppets, so to speak, who are claiming this, when the information, he always has a go at the Western media. You don't need to go to Western media. You don't need to go to any media. You can go to feeds on certain things with real people doing a real video on their real phone, showing you what it's really like. He's just denying all of that, and he sort of lives in la la land. Maybe he believes it. Maybe he thinks it's true. I don't know. But do be very careful of these guys who actually do the dirty work for the Chinese Communist Party. My name is James. Don't forget to share. Don't forget to like. Don't forget to subscribe. And if you feel generous enough, please donate to the channel. The links are in the description below. God bless to all. Thank you very much for your time. It's one thing I could never give back to you. Cheerio.